Hi guys, welcome back to the Mission Empowered podcast with me, your host Emily. I hope you're all doing fabulous and I know you are about to become a little bit more fabulous with your goals after this episode. So this episode today is all about breaking the I'll start Monday cycle. Okay, so this is absolutely up there with like the top 3 things that stop people achieving the results, is that they, in a nutshell, fuck it up of a weekend. Literally, probably 90% of people struggle with this, especially if you don't have a coach. If you have a coach, it is easier to keep you in check, but I still have clients that struggle with this, okay? And these are, what I'm going to do today is give you my 5 top tips that I will give to my clients to help you stay on track of a weekend. Because let's be real, and I'm going to talk about this on point 5, but if you mess up Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's 42% of your week, girls. Okay, the math ain't mathing. If we mess it up over weekends, we're never going to achieve what we want. And I think something just before I go into the top tips, I want you to imagine is that the reason that you feel like, oh, I'm putting in so much effort, I know I messed it up over weekend, but I'm literally not going anywhere, is I want you to imagine like this graph, okay, is that it's because you go full pelt at Monday, everything's done, nothing is amiss. Maybe even Tuesday as well. Wednesday, you're still showing up to the gym, you're putting the effort in, maybe you've slipped a little bit on your diet. Thursday, you're like, oh, I really wanted that biscuit. I've had nothing nice all week. Like, I'm gonna have the biscuit, then you have 5. And then Friday, it's what does my husband call them? Ollie calls them Fat Fridays. It's Fat Fridays in work. Not in our house, but it's Fat Fridays in work. Everyone's going to Subway, to Mackey's, whatever it is. Even when I used to work in a corporate gym, I know that this was the thing. So you have a Fat Friday because you've been so on it, like you've had no room for error in the week. Your motivation has dropped, your willpower has dropped by Friday, and then you go, fuck it, I've messed it up, I'll start again Monday. And then what happens? You go to the shop on the way home, you buy the wine. On the Saturday, you don't bother planning your meals because what's the point? You had a Fat Friday. And then Sunday, you have your breakfast, a big fat roast, a tub of Ben and Jerry's and go, right, I'm going to start again tomorrow. That is such a prominent cycle, like with women that I see. And we're going to break that today. All right, so let's go. So the first one we're going to talk about is, and this, I speak about this a lot on the episodes, but to get results, we've got to be organised. Okay, let me just get this thing off. It's really annoying me, little thing on the screen. We've got to be organised, girls, okay? Without organisation and a plan, we're pissing in the wind. It ain't going to happen. So the first thing I want you to do is, on your results timeline, is look ahead at your social calendar, okay? Because you might have big things in of a weekend. You might be going to races. You might have someone's birthday, okay? And if we have things planned in, we can then navigate the week around that to know even still that's not going to mess our goals up. On the flip side to that, if you haven't got anything special in that weekend, amazing. That means it's a real good weekend that you can rocket your progress right from the week, right through the weekend, right into the following week. Now, I love not having social occasions when I've got a goal, to the point sometimes where I won't even accept social invitations. Oh, sound like I'm on Bridgerton. But I won't accept social invitations depending on how close it is to my goal, because not from a negative point of view where I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's from a positive of the, actually, do you know what? I really want a clear weekend, because I know if I have a clear weekend to just do what I want to do, relax, nail my food, nail my steps, going into that Monday, I'm so motivated knowing that I've nailed the week before, I'll nail the week after even more so. So from a social point of view, getting organised, okay? So then you can also say, well, actually, I've got a social occasion next weekend, so I'm going to make sure this weekend I'm absolutely bang on with it, okay? And like I said, the first thing about looking ahead when it comes to your weekend is that you can then plan around what you've got on, or, in my case now, if you are a mom, what the kids have got on. Are you going to be at kids' birthday parties? Woo! 12 till 5. Oh crap, I need to sort my lunch out, because otherwise I'm going to end up smashing the sausage rolls and the chips at these birthday parties. So looking ahead at what you've got on over weekend is going to stop derailing you and having that fuck it mindset, because you didn't plan ahead. Then you've rocked up to the birthday party, then there's 50 mini sausage rolls calling your name, okay? But if we look ahead and we know that that's a probability, we can put plans in place to stop us chinning the beige buffet, okay? So number 1 is be organised with your social calendar. And if you haven't got a calendar, what year are you living in, okay? Get a Google Calendar downloaded. It is free and it is a lifesaver, and you can go on on a Tuesday or a Wednesday and be like, right, I need to get my shit together for this weekend, have a little look what's going on, and then be thinking, right, and again, from a, let's just use kids' parties point of view, I'm out 12 till 5, what am I having for my tea? Do I need to put a slow cooker on in the morning so that when I come home and I'm absolutely drained from kids in general, I'm not going to speed dial a chippy? It's these little things that planning ahead will do, okay? Let me just check my points because I do want to probably elaborate on that a little bit more. Right, so that's planning the social side of things, but at the same time, it's looking ahead. I spoke to one of my clients about this the other day, and if you've got nothing in your social calendar, this can be problematic as well. Because if you've got nothing and boredom hits in, let's say you haven't got kids and boredom hits in, what do you tend to do? Tend to eat. Mate text you, want to go for the coffee and cake? Yeah, I got nothing in. Yeah. So planning ahead and thinking, right, well, I've got a free weekend here. What can I do on this weekend? Because I look for recipe inspo that maybe is going to take up time in the kitchen, but it's going to be goal driven. So I'm going to do a little bit of cooking or a little bit of baking for the rest of the week. Yeah. And when we talk about baking, it doesn't have to be, fairy cakes with icing and midget gems on top. It could be something healthy, something experimental that you haven't tried before. So looking ahead at your diary and thinking, I've got nothing in, I need to text one of my mates and say, do you want to go for a swim? Do you want to go for a walk? Or the kids have got nothing in, they're going to be bored as hell. So rather than, I don't know, my baby's only 6 months, but like, what do kids do when they're bored? Like, can we go and get an ice cream? Can we go and do this? Like, kids are very food snack orientated, aren't they? So if you've got something in plan, you're going to go for a big walk, you're going to go to an outside park, something like that, where you're going to entertain the kids, but also it's going to be aligned with you being fit, active and healthy as well. So number one, organize your social calendar just from the fact that you can then plan ahead with it. That you can, if you've got a busy weekend, cool, I know what I need to put in place. If you've got an empty weekend, cool, I know I need to put some things in place that are going to stop me just slobbing on the couch eating for the sake of eating. Okay, that's point one enough. Number two is front load your rocks. Okay, so what tends to happen that derails people over a weekend? They have a busy week. And again, I see this all the time. My clients, they'll all be listening to this. Busy week, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the gym Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to smash it. Okay, cool. But you're telling me that on a Tuesday because your week's so busy. When you get to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, your motivation is going to be lower. You're going to be tired during the week, okay? It's going to require a lot more mental power to go to the gym Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, sometimes we can't help it and we have to show up and do it, but sometimes we can help it. And actually what we're doing is going, I'll backload my workouts and my steps and do them over the weekend rather than getting up an hour earlier in the week because they have to. Point in case, 5:10, I was up this morning, okay? I hate saying things like this because I'm not blowing my own trumpet, I'm trying to make it relatable. Massive day for me today, work day, getting loads done. And now I'm at my desk. Have I got an opportunity to get my steps up? Probably not. 5:10, I was like, fuck this, get up. Zumba. I went doing Zumba. Zombie. To get my steps in. It's a one-off. I knew I could do it, and I knew that the pain of getting up at 5:10 and being zombie-eyed was so much less than me sitting down at 6 o'clock tonight, being on 3,000 steps, being like, oh, okay. And it's all to do with like motivation and decision fatigue. So decision fatigue, just in case we're not aware, is basically when your brain is burnt out from making so many decisions. Okay. So we have less decision fatigue in the morning, earlier on in the week, because we feel motivated. By the end of the week, we've made lots of work decisions Monday to Friday, which is why on a Saturday, Sunday, you don't want to do anything. You want to get the chippy. It's because your brain is basically burnt out from making all the decisions. I need to circle back around what I was saying. So yeah, that's decision fatigue anyway, which is why we have more motivation in the mornings than we do in an evening or over weekends. Okay, so getting your rocks in earlier in the week. So if you think you've got your rocks, your pebbles and your sand, so your rocks are your big things, like your workouts. You've got a 70,000 step goal for the week, 10,000 per day. But it's important as a weekly average, right? So if you know you've got time in the week or you've got a busy weekend, front load your steps as well. If you can get up that little bit earlier in the morning to do an extra 3,000 steps on 2 days a week, so you end that day on 13,000 and it lightens the load because you've got a brunch on Saturday, do that. But don't be naive. Now you understand about decision fatigue, thinking I've got it, even more so, I've got a chock a week, I'm going to front load the weekend. That is the last thing you will want to do of a weekend. you will be exhausted from your big week. So the best thing is to be showing up in the week. You might not give 100%, but it's better than zero. It's better than saying on Sunday, I was just too tired from the week, so I didn't go. I listened to my body and rested. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but your goals don't know you listen to your body, okay? So front loading your rocks and having that attitude of come rain or shine, I'm doing them. These are important to me. We're very in our nature to put ourselves last. And I can vouch for this. I'm the same. Today, I just said, I've got a really busy day. I was driving to the gym. And listen, I want to tell you this stuff because it's applicable to me. Driving to the gym, home was straight ahead, left was the gym. And I was like, oh God, I'm so like torn between just go home and get my work done or go to my goals. And then I thought, you know what now? My goals are important. Go. And I just flipped my indicator on, and I'm so freaking glad I did. Okay, so but I still struggle with that. But that's what we've got to remember when work is busy, when I don't know, things happen. It's looking, and I know not everybody can, you know, go to the gym early on, but it is looking, thinking, well, I'm gonna make sure I definitely go to the gym in my lunch break, or you know, it might be I get up tomorrow's meant to be my rest day, but I'm gonna get up and go earlier and do it, something like that. Okay, so making sure then, so you're not overloading yourself of a weekend, which is again why people get derailed and I'll start Monday mindset, is that they put their rocks in the weekend. They move all the workouts to the weekend. They say, I'll catch up with my steps over weekend. And in some cases, you might be able to do that. But the likelihood is, the reason you're doing that is because you're so busy over a week. You're going to be mentally exhausted by the weekend. This is a really good point. I didn't think it was going to be this point. Good, but it is. Okay. So, like I said, the best thing to do is front load your rocks and make them a non-negotiable. You work out Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe a bonus one of a weekend, okay? It's the same when we do it in the daytime of a weekend. You know, I normally train in the morning. I'm going on to my next point, yeah. But I normally train in the morning. I'm not doing anything in the weekend. I'll go later on. What happens? You'd either fuck the gym or you're meant to be going at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Who wants to train at that time? You know, because we have too much time on our hands. So front load your rocks, your steps, your workouts, get them done in the week when you're busy, because that time pressure will make you achieve them. Okay, and then you can free up a little bit more time over weekend. Do not backlog your workouts to the weekend. Okay, the likelihood is they're going to be poorer sessions or get missed. Okay, like I said, leading on to point 3 then. Keeping the same routine of a weekend morning that you do in the week. So if you're one of these people that does nail it Monday to Friday, but weekends you really struggle, right? Have a little look at your morning routine. What are you doing Monday to Friday in the morning? My guess is this. A lot of people do this. Get up, I'd say 10 to 6. Let's just give an example, right? Get up at 10 to 6. Maybe you drink a pint of water, then you go for a walk, or then you go to the gym. You're back in by 7:30, quick change, breakfast, in work by 9. Yeah? For example, maybe you get the kids ready in that time as well, okay? But let's say you do that Monday to Friday, but then the weekend comes and you haven't got that time pressure. This is why time pressure is amazing. You haven't got that time pressure. So you don't set your alarm. You sleep in, because we think it's good for us when actually it's not. You sleep in. You wake up by 8, but because you've slept in, your body's a little bit out of sync with that morning routine. You wake up and you're like, oh, why do I feel tired? Like I've had so much more sleep, and it's because you're out of routine. And so you get up and you think, all right, like lazy morning, have a coffee. I'm just going to go downstairs, have a coffee. I'm going to sit down, watch the telly just for 10 minutes. I never do this. I'm going to do that, okay? But because we haven't got that time pressure. Oh, sorry. Let me finish my morning routine. Sit down, have a coffee, watch the telly while you're having your coffee. It's then 9:30. Bearing in mind you've normally eaten breakfast by 7, okay? It's then 9:30, and your breakfast is normally your protein shake with cereal and fruit, okay? But it's 9:30, maybe pushing 10, and you're like, oh, I don't really fancy that. You know, maybe even I'll wait till lunch, or maybe I'll just have a cereal bar. I'm not that hungry. I'll wait till lunch, okay? Then lunch comes and you're like, right, well, I'm fucking starving because I missed breakfast. So my usual lunch, what I'd have in the week is, you know, me chicken salad pizza and me apple and me protein bar. I'm not having that to weekend. What do I fancy? Some bacon there. Oh, starving. Bacon, cheese on toast. Yes, that's what I'm going to have. Okay? Right. We'll stop there with the morning routine. But can we say, oh, by the way, you've not even been to the gym yet either. and then you eat a stodgy lunch. It's completely out of your normal meal times, and then all your energy is thrown out, okay? So, can you see how by having so much time over the weekend and by not sticking to that morning routine, you have probably missed out on hydration, good nutrition, normal workout time, normal step time. Okay, you've missed out on 4 key things that are going to be there for your results because you're having a lazy morning. Okay, so but the problem isn't in a lazy morning once in a while. Oh my god, she knocked the mic over. The problem is in this being your weekend, Saturday, Sunday, getting up and missing things out. Okay, so my biggest advice is to keep your morning routine the same of a weekend. I do this and it is a game changer for me. I actually hate being out of routine over weekends, okay? I'll be dead honest with you, because I always try and see things as a positive. So let's say you do have more time, you don't have to be working at 8 o'clock. Look at you, get up, go for an extra long walk, do a bit of reading, okay? But stick to your normal get up time, have your pint of water, do your walk, come home, have your breakfast, and then that extra hour where you don't have to get ready for work, see it as a gift. It's a gift of time to do something for you, okay? You might get to the gym earlier, you might get to a class that you don't normally go to, but see it as a gift of time to do something for you rather than just filling it with doom scrolling or watching. I don't even know what's on the telly on a Saturday morning, but you know what I mean? Just do something that is going to push towards your goal, but you can still enjoy it at the same time. But what have I written here? I love my notes, by the way, girls. They are so doctor's handwriting. This looks like it says, push you dear. What is wrong with me? Posh, psycho clean. No, can't read it. Can't read my own writing. So same morning routine then is, if there's one thing you can take from this, it's get up at the same time. Because sometimes if we're in a really good routine Monday to Friday, just to getting up, you go into autopilot. Well, this is what I normally do. This, and it doesn't require decision fatigue. Being out of routine will require you to make more decisions, as I've just given in that example. You've got to think, what do I fancy for breakfast? What am I doing with my day? What time should I get ready? You know, all of these things chip away at your brain's ability to make good decisions. Okay, and when we're tired, that's why we make bad decisions, because we don't have the willpower to go, oh yeah, I'll do that. Yes, come on, we're just tired. I might know, just do the easy option. Okay, so by having I know what it says. By having the same morning routine, the likelihood is you are going to make better decisions in the morning. I spoke about this on last week's episode, and we know factually, scientifically, positive decisions lead to more positive decisions, and vice versa. Bad decisions lead more to bad decisions. So if you can get up over a weekend and follow your same positive decision morning routine that are doing things that are going to trigger your that are going to keep you going towards your goal and trigger more positive decisions throughout the day, that is how you are not going to rock up on a Monday and be like, right, I'm starting again. Keep your morning routine the same of a weekend. Right. And if you're thinking, but I love a lie-in, go to fucking bed earlier. Sorry, that's the answer. That's the answer. Go to bed earlier. But it's 11 o'clock. I want to stay up and watch a film on a Saturday night. Sound? You're going to feel like shit in the morning. Yeah? It's so hard, because saying this stuff, previous then would be like, wow, you boring bitch. But it's the truth, because I have been in both situations, which is such a positive for me as a coach. I have been that person that stays up till 1 o'clock watching Netflix over weekends because it's the weekend and I don't have to be up early. But I am the same person that then sleeps until 8 o'clock and has anxiety that I've lost a 2-hour window of what I would normally do, and it's thrown my whole day out. Okay, so if you want to lie in over weekend, I would probably say just give yourself an extra 45 minutes. Don't go over that hour mark for an extra lie-in. It's not worth it, okay? It's not worth, like I said, how you feel, because you're going to be out of sync. Let's move on. Number 4. Okay, this is a fantastic one, if I do say so myself, is plan ahead your meals in the week for the weekend. And this is all to do with the mindset you are in the week. So if we go back to how I started and introed this episode, it was all about having that motivation in the week, and then we lose it over the weekend and we fuck it off at the weekend and we start again Monday. So if you go to you on a Wednesday, okay, and you've smashed Monday, Tuesday, you're feeling pretty good, you know, feeling maybe a little bit tired, you're a bit like, oh, but you're feeling pretty good, you're feeling pretty organised because your breakfast is done, your evening meals are planned, you've been to the gym. So on a Wednesday, you're in a really positive mindset for your goals, okay? Fast forward to that Friday night, you're probably, if you're listening to this and you're struggling with this, you're probably not going to be in the same mindset. But go to you on the Wednesday and say, right, are you going to fuck it up in the weekend? You'll be like, hell no, I am on this. I am literally going for goals. I am going to smash this weekend because your mindset is there. So if you could say to yourself, right, well, what do you want to do this weekend in terms of like food then to make sure you're sticking to your goals? In that mindset, you are going to be so goal driven and focused. You are going to make a really good decision of planning ahead and being like, right, well, do you know what? I do fancy a pizza. So I'm either going to make it work and go to the shop, buy a pizza and make my calories work around that day. Or I'm going to research a little bit of recipes. I know I've got a bit more time, or I know the kids will enjoy making this. And we're going to make pizzas. We're going to make Greek yogurt pizzas. Okay, I feel like I'm going to get the DMs on this. Greek yogurt pizzas, so just Google it. It's literally Greek yogurt and flour. So it's high protein, tastes really nice, no shit in it. It's a really good thing to make. And then you put all your own toppings on, okay? So you can have a pizza, but because you're in that goal-driven mindset, all of these thoughts will be going through your head. You might think, do you know what? Let's have chicken, air-fried chips and salads. It's a bit like, you know, a bit fancier, takes a bit more time, but I know it's goal-driven, right? That's my Friday, Saturday. Sunday, I'm going to do a roast, but I'm going to put it in my fitness plan now so I know what I need to buy and I know that it's going to fit in. And I know that actually, if I have a bit of a lighter breakfast and lighter lunch, that's going to work as well. You have just organised your whole weekend food within 15 minutes on a Wednesday because you're motivated. So when Friday comes and you're feeling a little bit demotivated, you don't need to then think, whoa, God, I've still got this weekend to contend with. You've already done it. So number 4 is plan ahead your meals in the week rather than wait until the weekend and going, I'll do it then. You will be in a different space. Okay, and this is again something that me and Ollie do, is that we don't necessarily go and buy the stuff, but we will say, what are we having this weekend? Especially because I've got a photo shoot on Saturday. We're going on holiday in 4 weeks. So I know that I'm 7 months to play partner. I want to feel good. I want to put some effort in. So for example, last weekend, oh God, it's how hard it is to think about what you had last weekend. But I know that we made a steak. Because I was like, I really want something nice of a weekend. We eat pretty basic in the week because of time and it just ease. So I knew that I was like, right, let's have steak, air fried chippies, and I'm going to go M&S, treat ourselves to a nice salad because M&S salads just hit different. So yeah, and we made it work. And I'm so glad it did because Saturday was so full on. It would have been so easy to go, what you fancy? Oh, I don't know, like whatever. What have we got in the freezer? Poor ours, we never have anything in the freezer. But anyway, you know what the most indulgent things we probably have in the freezer is fish fingers. But yeah, so we planned ahead. We knew we were having it. So all we had to do, what you fancy today? Well, actually, we're having this, aren't we? You know, so let's go to the shop and buy it. Perfect, done. So and we've started having like a weekly roast on a Sunday as well. I don't know if anyone saw it. It was a proper poor man's roast because obviously I've got my photo shoot. But because we knew we were having that on Sunday, easy. Chicken in a bag. Love them. They're the best. Chicken in a bag, loads of veggies, and I feel like I'm getting food recommendations. The other week we bought roast potatoes, the other like frozen ones from Aldi, the extra special ones. They're so good. But like we have throw one of them in. I actually didn't have it. I had steamed potatoes with the baby. But do you know what I mean though? So by planning ahead, we plan our meals in the week for the weekend. We're not waiting till the weekend because I understand about decision fatigue and how I'm going to feel on the Saturday, which is pretty freaking exhausted, to be honest with you. So don't make it. So number 4, plan ahead your meals in the week for the weekend. Go a bit fancy if you've got the time, but you'll be much more motivated to do so. Right, number 5. Your goal. Right, number 5 is a bit of a quote. Okay, and I mentioned this in point 1. Your goals don't do weekends. They don't know it's a weekend. Okay, your goals that are waiting at the finish line for you. You just got to do the work to get there. They're not like, oh, she's having a weekend off. Bless her. Let's just jump her forward 3 spaces. Let's give her a free pass. Yeah, don't do that. And if anything, if you are really fucking it up, I mean really, you're setting yourself backwards. So think about that graph that we had, you know, where we're like smashing it smashing it Monday, smashing it Tuesday, and then we get here on Friday, you're just taking yourself backwards. You got to do all that work again if you are really effing it up. Okay, so your goals don't know you do weekends, and as I said before, if you are doing the whole Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing, 42% of your week is not goal driven. The math ain't mathing, is it? You have got to be disciplined over weekends. But I am going to add a side note. I can't even hold it in. But with the word discipline, I think that scares people. But everything I've just explained is discipline. Planning your meals in the weekday, that's disciplined. But you still get to have nice food. Front loading your workouts in the week so you don't have to do them over weekends and you can just spend time with your family. How lovely is that? But it comes from discipline. I really feel like discipline is attached to the stigma of like hard, tough, unachievable, but it's not. Discipline is just showing up to the things that we say we're going to do. That's it. You're going to do something, I'm going to make sure I show up and do it. And I've done a whole other podcast, by the way, called How to Get Disciplined. I think I have. Or How to Get Willpower. Oh my God, I'll have to check. If I haven't, I'll do one. But I'm pretty sure I have done one called How to Be Disciplined. And it starts off small. It literally is the best. I have definitely done this. I feel like I can repeat myself. The best way for you to improve being disciplined, one of the easiest, simple things you can do, tell yourself you're going to have a time to wake up and get up at that time. It doesn't have to be ridiculous. Let's say you're getting up at 7 in the morning, because obviously you don't have kids, or your kids are like miracle sleepers. Get up at 6 and say, right, I'm going to get up at 6 and I'm going to do a morning walk. I'm going to go up at 6:30 and do a 15-minute walk, but I'm going to do it all this week. By the end of that week, you would have improved your self-discipline. And then you can start building bigger things. This is how it works. Discipline starts small, but the more you challenge yourself and do the disciplinary actions you set yourself, the bigger tasks you can then be disciplined at. Okay, so what I've got here. Why can't I read? Okay. Yeah, your goals don't go to weekends, and I've said 42% of your weekly goals are coming from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that is what you've got to remember, is that when you have the weekend off, because you've done, this is quite common, smashed it in the week, you've worked up really, really hard in the week, you've done all your workouts, all your classes, but then you're like, right, so I don't train over a weekend. That's fine, it's not a problem. You can have a weekend off. But then you're having your chippies, then you're having your wine over a weekend because you don't drink in a week. But listen, you've got to remember this, okay? And this is just unfair life rule. It is so much easier to fuck it up than it is to get to where you want to be. That's fact. You can fuck it up in a third of the time that it takes you to get to where you want to be. And like I said, that is just an unfair life rule. So don't let yourself down. Don't let yourself put all that in hard work, that pushing in the gym, that planning of the meals, that getting up early to do your steps. That's amazing. But then you're messing it up over a weekend by pressing the fucking button or thinking you deserve it. You deserve this bottle of wine because you smash it in a week. Like, I don't even know where that's come from, that whole mindset thing. I deserve a treat. Yeah, but that treat isn't being rewarding to your goal. That treat is actually taking that goal away from you. Now, I'm not saying you can't have wine, you can't have chocolate. You can, of course you can. I have chocolate every day in fat loss. I do, because I love it. A little sweet treat. But what I don't do is, I make it work for me. That's what I do. What calories I've got left. So at the moment, my current finds are Mars ice creams, 136 calories, perfect. Kit Kat, 106 calories, perfect. A little bit of chocolate, a little bit of dark chocolate bar from Aldi, 136 calories. Same as Mars bar. But, so these little things, like, you can have them every day, but what you can't do is, like I said, you can't have a share bag of mini eggs every day and be like, oh, says I can have chocolates every day. Not in that context. So you can have things, but you've got to make them work. You've got to, and it comes back to point 1, so let's finish it here. Be planned and be organised. You want to have wine over weekend? You want to have chocolate over weekend? You want to have a fucking lion over weekend? Fine. Be planned, be organised, and make sure everything around that is goal driven. And that all your boxes are ticked, and that you are still in your calorie deficit, or you are still pushing in training, or you are still hitting your protein. All right, let's leave it there. Quick fire blast summary. Number 1, Organise your social calendar to know if you are busy or if you are not, that you can manage it ahead of just showing up on the day and be like, Number 2, front load your rocks. Workout steps, they do not get pushed to the weekend because you're busy, because you are going to not show up or not do them efficiently or not do them at all. Okay, front load them. They are a priority. They are important. Number 3, have the same morning routine of a weekend as what you do in the week. This is a game changer. Number 4, plan ahead your meals in the week for the weekend. Okay, help yourself out when you are motivated, that your future self will thank you for. And number 5, your goals don't know it's the weekend. So whether you think you deserve it or not, your goals are just going to do what the actions your goals are going to follow the actions you dictate. Okay, you want to take the weekends off, you're going to take a step back from your goals. Are you okay with that? And the last thing is, remember, the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, is 42% of your week. Choose what you want to do. It doesn't matter what you do in that 60%. If you smash it 60%, hit your goal 60%, but then you don't do that 40%, you are not going to get 100% of the goals you want because you're only putting in 60% effort. I'll leave it there. Girls, please let me know if this helped, okay? Hopefully, I really want this one to be impactful, so hit me up, let me know over on Instagram @_em.powered. But hopefully I have saved you a bit of a mindset hack. I don't know what I'm saying. It's time to wrap up. 31 minutes of chatting by yourself is like, but yes, let me know how you get on. Hopefully it saved your weekend and you're all going to go on and smash this coming Monday or every Monday after now. Smash the weekend, not the Monday, right? I'm going. See you on the next one. Love you, bye.